we discussed today is to determine the number of the trucks or wagons, and also the estimated production of those hauling equipment. So let's give a few notes on that one. So trucks and wagon. And you can see if you go to Alico, Corkscrew, or Ben Hill Griffin, you see a lot of trucks, and for that reason, it is a very common construction hauling unit. Haul unit, especially for long distance, a few miles, etc. It becomes very effective. How do you determine the load time for that whole unit? So we have the load time, and of course how to load the material on the truck. Normally they use the loader production like excavator, loader, dozer, etc. So how can we determine that it equal to the whole unit capacity, basically the capacity of a truck or wagon? So capacity divide by the loader productions, loader or excavator production at 100% efficiency. What does that mean? We assume the loader operate at 100% efficiency so that we can determine the load time. Or the other way to determine the load time, it can be equal to the number of bucket load, the number of bucket load. How many times of load that excavator have, time the excavator or loader cycle time, the excavator cycle time. And that's something we excavator cycle time, something we did in lesson 2, excavator cycle time. So like I say, to load material on the trucks or wagons, we use loader or excavator, and that's the equation to determine the load time. How about the other fixed time like spot, dump, maneuver, etc.? So it can be available on table for night. Other fixed time, such as you have spot, something we did in scrapper, maneuver, or dump. Then you use the table for night. What is table for night? It's here. So the truck and wagon in minutes, bottom dump or rear dump. What is the operational condition? Favorable, average, favorable, unfavorable. You can have that minutes for the fix, and they combine spot, maneuver, and dump time. Then when we have the load time, we can be able to determine how many hauler unit we need. So the next one, we can determine the number of hauler required, and that in N capital, and the equation is equal to whole unit per cycle divided by load time. Load time and determine previously the equation above. So that is the number of haulers required, number of trucks required basically. And the last topic or last thing that we want to do, what is the expected productions of the wagon or trucks? Expected productions. And if the number you choose, number of units you choose less than n, that determined in the previous equation there, then the equation it should be equal to actual number of units, and capital is basically in theory that should be the number, but normally when you divide you can get not an integer like 3.6 or something. In 3.6 should I choose 3 units or 4 units, that determined here. If for example 3.6 is n capital and you choose the actual unit is 3, so you have to put 3 in there, the actual number of units, divide by the zero, the calculated number of units, for example 3.6, and then we time the excavator production. So those are the equations to determine the trucks and wagons. And in the next video and the last video, we will apply that in problem, the next and the last problem, problem 3.